Trouble going live again. Let's just see if the stream stays on. Reporting from Portishead in the UK. Lovely calm morning on this May Day. Big ship over there being tugged into port. See if I can rest this. Maybe it's difficult to. Natalie, hello. Where are you, Natalie? You stuck somewhere in Phuket, or did you get out? Yeah, hi. So you're still in Phuket then, yeah? Right then. Yeah, I heard that expats got a visa amnesty. No. Sorry about the bad connection, chaps. Oh, okay, Natalie, nice one. Yeah, yeah, I heard that a lot of expats or holiday makers or people who got stuck in Thailand, well, they got a visa amnesty until the end of, when was it, June or July 31st? Which would have been handy if I was there, that's for sure. But anyway, hopefully the connection stays now. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. You know, it's isn't it funny how for many of us the illusion of, well, the culture, what would I call it? The culture of scientism is really falling apart at the seams. But then, of course, you look around and we see most people being referred to as normies these days, I think, are really just going along with the culture of scientism and not questioning it. And so we have this steadfast belief in it. Hi, who's that? No fanfare. All right, man. Flat water, yeah, lovely. Oh man, sorry about the buffering. Keep losing the connection. So, yeah. Yeah, we all see it. We all see the, you know, these models. Everything, the whole, our entire lives, everything is also, and it's funny that you would study the crowd as an entity, a single entity, and you know, you can model crowd behavior, but this is the thing, we are all individuals and we all bring something unique and different to the mix, which is unpredictable, and this creativity and just everything. So even if you know, something was spliced and diced, it got out of the lab in one way or another. Good morning, individual perspective. Hi, Zoo Scott. Then of course there is no way you can factor in all the variables of something going from inside a lab in a very what's the word? Not segmented, compartmentalized environment. So imagine if you're in a lab and you're messing around with whatever, bacterium or little microscopic things and stuff. You're doing it in very, very, very controlled circumstances with reducing the outside influences as much as possible. And okay, all well and good in the annals of science and being scientific about finding out how a particular part of the massive mechanism works. But you've isolated something, or you've even created something artificial that has no place in the real outside world, will not survive in things like sunlight or just the air and all the other stuff that's in the air. And even when you kind of talk about injecting these things into bodies, they don't really know exactly what happens and how the body reacts and what it does or doesn't do to something that's injected into it. There are infinite variables that will affect anything like that. So anything that's done on a computer model or in a sterile lab is never ever going to work or reflect, the all-encompassing reality. The worm might turn. Yeah, I think so. Well, that's what's a very curious thing. I mean, from the outset, of course, this has been very much a scientific observation of human behavior, hasn't it? A lot of us have kind of already. We know how a lot of people will react and what have you. Scientism. And even though the models that have been used have been clearly torn apart and shown to be absolutely ridiculous, do check out the Corbett report, James Corbett, the Corbett report. He's got some very good stuff all about what's going on. Of course, as with any scientific measurement or whatever, it really does come down to interpretation, and we know this from the Earth. We know that this flatness and stillness and non-rotatingness gets converted into this ridiculous imaginary model through interpretation of real physics and real measurements. And of course, that's what happens all over the place with everything, whatever it might be. Any kind of this idea that you can have one size fits all because you did a few things in a lab and you tested a few hundred people or whatever. Yeah. And Waterworld says the way this has spread so fast leads me to believe it was contaminated. Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, who knows? But I think no. To be honest, it really is nothing more than a complete ruse, an absolute ruse. Nothing can be believed about it. It basically, just like, it's just business. That's all it is. Someone, just like the money. It's such an illusion, and it's such a powerful one. That this is what's so amazing about this whole thing. Yeah, something imaginary has been created out of nothing. Yeah, and it's not something that works in the real world. It is literally a figment of people's imagination, and it has very quickly become part of everyone's daily reality and their belief. Yeah. And of course, what's always incredible about this is that, surely someone would say something, or how can the whole world be in on it? How can all these different countries be doing the same thing? And this goes for the space programs, for satellites, for all of this stuff. And it's a familiar question. First of all, there's why would they do it? And it's because they can, and they make a model, and it's easy to convince people of things with some mathematics. But yeah, just, when you're dealing with millions and billions of people and and infinite variables, you you miscalculate things by a fraction of a percent or a decimal point, and you're way off the mark. You've got numbers that are in the hundreds of thousands, and compared to a few hundred. Yeah. Individual, yes, 100% hypnotism. Yes, it's got to, this is, I mean, really, this is maybe the difference between kind of woke and awake, and really, because it becomes, it's interesting. I'm seeing flags go up now on people's houses and stuff, and they're obviously celebrating this 75 years of VE Day. And it's like, I'm like, one has to observe one's own reaction to seeing that kind of thing, because ultimately every country has a culture, and it can be quite endearing to go to another culture and see that there's a certain day where they put flags out or have a festival or something like that, and of course that is the flag waving is part of any nation, and but of course when you realize what the flag waving is, and it's kind of like, it's difficult to take part or participate on any level, but it is a kind of good thing to do, I suppose, to try not to be angered or frustrated or annoyed by it, react to it, because really there has to be that complete detachment in order to be truly free from it. And so that doesn't mean that we suddenly kind of go against, rebel. The rebellion stage is kind of like a teenager stage, isn't it? We should grow beyond that, perhaps. But of course, easy said. If everyone was just being left to their own devices, but of course they're not. We're in a situation where we have, literally been imprisoned and had rights taken away. Human rights have been disappeared, and of course there's the threat of all sorts of mechanisms put in place to further control us. And that's not on, of course. That's when a belief which could be left to be a belief turns into tyranny. You have a vague memory of the maypole in the park as a child. Oh yeah, that's real. Yeah, now that's May Day stuff, isn't it? The maypole, okay. And again, you can always read into these things whatever you like as far as what it means for the culture. But yeah, that was okay, and that. To be honest, as I said, in any culture, any country, those individual cultures are nice and different and unique, because they'll have certain days and times which they, of course, celebrate things. And so, you can't draw lines in these things and say, oh, there shouldn't be any culture. But yeah, I think awareness is the key, isn't it? How's it going? Who's that? Kurt Cooper. Hello there. Yeah. Oh, what's that? Execrate high. Cementing this idea of national identity. We're all in we're all in this together. Yeah. True, man. Yeah. And I again, what you. Yeah. Trinity 4, hello. Just another Chemtrail Friday there. Same here, Nick. There they are. They're all the trails. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. It's always very difficult to see the screen. So yeah, even the latest news that this what's his name? Is it Neil Ferguson? The guy who's and this apparently is the same guy that did these models for all the other so-called pandemics in kind of, especially in agriculture, that have really impacted the UK. And they did have some measures. I remember you couldn't walk through fields and stuff like that, and lots of cattle were killed, and you had fields of burning carcasses. Hello, Rose Tinted. Yeah, the TB, foot and mouth. Yeah. Apparently, hi Pendle. Yes, he did the TB and foot and mouth. All those models that have severely impacted, where they've, appeared to make this decision. The good old British stiff upper lip and all that. Take it on the chin, and and we'll have a cup of tea afterwards. It'll all be better. Yes. These tyrannical measures that have been done because of this guy's models, apparently. And of course, this guy has, or the institute, at least, that he's working with, has received millions of dollars from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's the thing, those guys, and this isn't conspiracy theory stuff. It's out there. You can wiki this stuff, that these people in the lobbyists in positions of power and huge influence have good reason to be pushing corporate agendas. Yeah. And yeah, it's all about they get tied over with money. And that's so easy to see. But actually, people will make excuses, and they'll say, well, they're doing it for the good of the people, but okay, well, they're allowed to make some money on the side. And of course, one doesn't realize the massive profits widespread through all facets of society that come about when something is implemented. What's that? Is that Have No Sphere? Oh, hi. Morning, Nick. Funny how Ferguson gets caught right at the moment. All his previous models have been out under scrutiny. Quick fix. Right. Yeah. I know. Again, it's all a distraction as well in many respects. He'll become a scapegoat. But this is the thing. No matter what, it still doesn't. A lot of people still don't ask the right questions, and still don't question the scientism of it. Yeah. Oh, you reckon the stock market will crash next to you, Rose Tinted? Well, yeah. But just on, just personally, I'm kind of, it's not to gloat or anything, because obviously a lot of people have been put in a really serious situation, but for years have strived to be independent. Rather than, in the 80s, we were brought up to, go get a job. And of course, most of us have to get a job and, or find some secure employment. And of course, it's a desirable thing to do. But, been through years and years of hardship to remain somewhat independent of that. And to be an independent, just to work, do my work in my time, and get a job, get a job. Yeah, and that's now paying off, because already set up to work from home independently, and have been. Nothing's changed in that respect. In fact, it's improved. Whereas, of course, there are many others who are, just being are really, really suffering, in this time. And of course, this is the kind of thing that when you're aware of what's going on, you try to wake people up to. And it seems no matter what happens, they will remain, frankly, ignorant. Individual perspective. My first day off in 3 months today. I'm kind of gutted though. All right. Wow. Okay. Been busy, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so of course, science is all good, and that's how we can talk now, and that's how boats over there can float and cranes can lift things. And of course, it's funny when it comes with the flat Earth, you get all these arguments about physics, and it's like, well, yeah, okay, all right, you can explain physics, the maths, the formula, great. And I've learned a lot from a lot of these people pointing things out, but it all comes down to nothing changes at all in the way we describe this world and the way we model it and its physical properties. Nothing changes. Just the interpretation. It's payday too. All right. Yeah. Anyway, tide's coming in. And I thought it would just be nice to share this lovely morning. All right, what's that? Fact statements that are not just wrong, but seem you may have conflict of interest. You just get a little slap. Well, yeah, but of course it's not that one person is becoming a scapegoat. And who it should have been to the person making the decisions based on those models, or a wise, savvy person would have seen that whoever was presenting models and had the backing, come on. It's not it's not difficult. It's not even slightly conspiracy theorist material. It's just a fact. It is just there in the open for anyone to just make that connection. Yeah. Hi, good servant. Yeah, isn't that the thing? And one would hope that it would it would slap a few people awake. But no, we're probably seeing the very same traits that we've been seeing for many years now with those who just don't want to. Oh yeah. They're happy with their belief. I think, I wonder if, because, you get to a certain point in life, and I'm seeing this in myself, I'm approaching 50. And so, of course, you go from, it's obviously it's that kind of like over the hill situation where you're actually looking forward, not looking forward as in, no, you're looking towards your death, or you're planning towards your death. Yeah. There's a switch where you become hyper aware of your current situation and your kids and all that kind of thing. So actions and reactions and behaviors, kind of, it's reflection, it's it's all sorts. It's is that what they call the midlife crisis? I don't know, but no, what I was saying is that for many, they I suppose spend some part of life seeking answers and then decide upon a fixed belief. And boom, that's my lot. That's eradicated the confusion. Yeah, all these goings on, individual perspective, all these goings on of late have bound none the wiser, but it's progress. True. Yeah, certain things can't be done. Just like 9/11 was, no matter how long it took, it did make people stop and think. Yeah, and at the very least, you could see that regardless of who's to blame, opportunists took advantage of the situation. And yeah, things were rushed in. I'm gonna get cut off soon. Yeah. Anyway, listen, don't let me hold you all up. If you're in the UK, get up, get out your lazy bed. And get on with the day. And let's try and catch up soon, yeah? Over and out.